Hello and welcome back to my channel. If it's your first time here, thank you for stopping by. If you've been here before, thank you for always returning to this channel. Thank you for keeping us going, and thank you 900 subscribers. We're looking forward to 1,000 in a couple of days, and we couldn't have done this without you. Thank you for stopping by. Today we'll be learning how to make an off-shoulder elastic crop top. It's going to have an elastic on the shoulder and on the waistline as well. So first of all, you need to get your fabric ready. For this project, I'm using just 1 yard of African print Ankara fabric. And what I did, first of all, is I folded my fabric in half, salvage, and then I'm also going to be folding this way. That's going to be now into 4, like 1, 2, 3, 4 layers. How do you know the amount of fabric to fold or the width of the fabric that you need? You need to get your fullest measurement. Because it's a crop, it's not getting to the hip. The fullest measurement is the bust in this case, and the bust measurements I'm working with is 44. Now dividing 44 by 4 is going to give us 11 inches. We also will be adding an extra 3 inches. This is because the top is gathered, so the extra 3 inches will serve as the room allowance, and also seam allowance is already included. Now the next thing we want to do is to start from the very top. First of all, I'll be marking out 2 inches on a straight line. My ruler is 2 inches, so it's a perfect guide. This 2 inches is going to serve as my casing, where my elastic will fit when we are finished, like so. We're going to be folding like this and stitching, and then we'll fit the elastic into it on the shoulder. So this is going to be the top. And then now, because it's an off shoulder, I'm taking off 5 inches from the regular measurement of this client. For this client that I'm measuring, I'm taking off 5 inches. So we're going here, and then we're going to get her bust point. Her bust point is 11 inches. This is 11 inches. And the next thing I want to measure is the length that she wants for this crop top. The length that we'll be using for this crop top today is 20 inches. Like I said, we have an elastic casing both at the top and at the bottom. So we're going to be adding extra 2 inches to the bottom for our casing. So let me just rule out the lines I have already for clarity's sake. So this is going to be her chest line. No, sorry, her bust line. And this is going to be the length of the top. And then I'm adding my extra 2 inches for my elastic casing at the end of the project. Yes, that's that. Then we need to get her armhole measurement. The armhole measurement of this client I'm working with, a regular armhole measurement, is actually 20 inches. That's round the armhole is 20 inches, which gives us 10 inches if we divide by 2. So we're supposed to have 10 inches downwards this way. Remember that we are removing 5. So we're starting from 5. So we're going all the way to 10. So I'm marking 10 here, which is going to be our chest point. So I'll just rule this out. That's going to be our chest point. Now, for the neckline, I'll be using my client's shoulder measurement. Our actual shoulder measurement is 15 inches. 15 inches divided by 2 will give us 7.5. Now, I have my 7.5 here. Like I said, this is a loose garment. I'll be adding an extra 1.5 inches to this right here. And then I'll be creating my armhole from this point to the chest line. Feel free to use your armhole curve, and the armhole will look something like this. Something like this. And I'll be creating my armhole like so. We're almost done with the top, and this is what we have. This is exactly what we need to cut out. And we are not shaping the sides. Remember that we already used her bust measurement, which was 11 inches, and we added 3 inches room allowance and seam allowance put together. So I'll just pin this quickly and cut this out, and then we'll continue from there. So we'll be cutting this out, just exactly what we have. I'll just open this up so we can see. And because I'm using African print Ankara fabric, it's good to mark the wrong side, because when you're working with the original African print, the right and wrong side, they look very similar. So you don't want to make the mistake of turning it right side out. So yeah, I've cut it now, and this is going to be my shoulder, and this is going to be my waistline. So now we're continuing, and I'll be showing us how I cut the sleeve to this crop off shoulder top. Now the first thing I did is to rule a straight line. I folded my fabric into two. I'm making a puff sleeve, which is really going to be puffy, and this is 13 inches on fold, which means if you open it out, it'll be 26 inches. Now on the folded parts, I'll be coming in by 7 inches, like so, like this. And then the next thing you want to do is to pick up your crop top that you've cut already and place it on this 7 inches mark, because you are creating a sleeve that matches up this exact armhole. So I will just trace this out like so on my fabric, like this, and then I'll be cutting straight down. The length of the sleeve I have here is 18 inches. Remember that I'm going to be folding the top by 2 inches, just like I did that, and I'll also be folding the bottom by 2 inches, because there's an elastic both at the top and at the bottom of the sleeve as well. So we'll cut this out. Remember to cut 2. You need to cut 2 of exact same thing for your sleeve. We'll cut this out, and that's the sleeve. Remember to cut 2 of the exact same thing for your sleeve. I'm marking the wrong side, like I said we should, and this is the other side. And then I'll be placing this on another fabric to cut out exactly the same thing for the second sleeve. So now what we need to do next is to first of all join the sides by 1/2 inch on the right and on the left side of the top. After we've done that, we'll also do the same for the sleeve, but we'll join the sleeves together like so. This is going to serve as our underarm. We'll join this straight down, and then after joining it, we'll create our casing by folding our fabric first 1/2 inch and then this way, and then we'll stitch round. We will do the same for the bottom half of the top. So far so good. This is what I have done. I've stitched the sides, both sides, and I've also gone ahead to serge it. And then this is the waist point. I have double folded it to create my casing, but in this I have also left a little space, about 2 inches, where I'm going to be passing my elastic through. That is for the body. And I also went ahead to do same for the sleeve. I joined the underarm together and then serged it. I also went ahead to fold the casing on the sleeve wrist. I folded the casing and I left this space to be able to pass my elastic through. Now after passing my elastic, the last thing we need to do is to join the sleeve to the bodies, and I will just quickly show us how we can do that. So yes, just assume that you are putting your elastic. The sleeve will be looking like this, puffy, guarded, just like that. So I'll be turning this to the right side now. This is my bodies, to the right side, and this is my sleeve. It's also on the right side. So what I need you to do is to match your seam lines, the seam line on the side of the sleeve to the inseam line on the sleeve. So we're going to be matching it like this, seam line to seam line, and then we'll be pinning in place. We'll be pinning all the way like so. I'm starting from that point all the way, and we'll be pinning. We keep pinning, so we'll get to the very top, which is going to be the shoulder line, or the off shoulder line. as the case might be. Yeah, so I'm matching it. Pinning it in place. And then I go all the way to the back as well and pin. Exactly what we have pinned is exactly how we will be stitching. That's exactly the line we'll be stitching on a 0.5 inch seam allowance. Yes, I've pinned it, so you just want to go on your sewing machine and stitch all the way around. This is what it would look like when you are done stitching. It will look something like this. Let me show us quickly. It will look something like this when you are done stitching. I'll stitch this sleeve on quickly and then show us how to finish the upper casing. After stitching this sleeve on, like I've shown us now, then you want to then fold once and twice according to the allowance we left all around. Remember, like we did for both the sleeve and the bodies, we left about 2 inches where we'll be passing our elastic through to finish it off. So I'll just stitch the sleeves on and then we'll continue from there. So now I have added my elastic on the shoulder. After joining the sleeve to the bodies, I have added my elastic on the shoulder. I have also added my elastic on the sleeve and the second sleeve, and lastly we'll be adding the elastic on the waist. I actually measured out the exact waist measurement on my elastic, and then I've put my safety pin on, and I'll be passing it through the 1 to 2 inches space I asked the sleeve initially. I'll just pass this through from beginning to the end. So just passing the elastic through the bottom bit now. Yes, and it's come out on this other side, so I'm just snipping off my excess and then I'll be tying the 2 ends together. If you're using a bigger elastic, maybe like a 1 inch or 3/4 inch, you can consider stitching it instead of tying it. Only the thin elastic, which is this is the 1/2 inch elastic, looks all right with tying. If you use bigger sizes, please stitch, don't tie. So I'm going to have to tie it properly and ensure that it's really tight, and then I'll cut off the excess that I have, and then I will just adjust this accordingly. And the very last thing I'll be doing is to stitch this part where I pass my elastic through. And here's the eventual outcome of the off the shoulder crop top with elastic on the shoulder, on the hem, and on the sleeve. If you stayed with us to this moment, thank you so very much for watching. We're happy that you're still here. Please don't forget to recommend us to others. Don't forget to like, to share, to subscribe, and do drop topics or suggestions of sewing tutorials you would like us to share on this channel, and we'll be glad to help you. Thank you guys for watching, and see you next time in my next video. Bye.